No, definitely not. I'm not really going to say I'm a rapper. I just decided to do a project. You know, I don't listen to too much rap. I do have a couple of favorites like Flocka and Methazine and stuff like that. So I wanted to try doing a rap project, but I couldn't identify with a lot of stuff they talk about. I wasn't raised in the hood or anything like that, and I didn't want to come off as like a poser because that's weak. So I was like, well, my vape band is Dragon Force. I like dragons. I like fantasy and wizards and elves and whatever. So I was like, well, just rap about that. And so, like, when I first heard the beat for this one, it was very different from the first beat. The first beat was much more aggressive, kind of heavy dubstep. This one's a little more lo-fi, so I decided to kind of let the story kind of breathe a little bit and explain as much as I could in these few little minutes. I just crammed as much stuff in there and just really kind of set the stage for what the rest of the story is going to be throughout that song, the last song of the EP, and going forward in the rest of the series. Taking flight, calmly soaring through the skies. I look down at the desert where we're residing. I cannot believe my eyes. All the pastures giving way to castles of steel and gray. So pretty much the beginning of the song is just the dragon, who's Barthandelus, leaving the cave and just surveying the land beneath him, you know, because last time he was awake it was, you know, castles and knights and horse-drawn carriages and stuff, and now he's seeing, like, you know, cars and skyscrapers and like electricity and lights and stuff like that, and he's just kind of taking it all in. And you know, he's calling them castle because he doesn't know what a skyscraper or, you know, a condo is, because that wasn't there back then. So that's that part. As rain is pouring down on me on this darkest of days, destruction, devastation, the scathing of land, weeping skies drowning out a darkened wonderland. I know I have to hurry, go and find the others. I must reawaken them, my sister and brothers. So again, that's just him just surveying the land, seeing how much everything has changed. He's looking down and he's seeing all these humans kind of, you know, it's a rainy day, it's cloudy, it's gray, and he's looking down, seeing all these humans, you know, looking kind of bleak and sad, and just kind of reflecting on what the state of the world is now as it was back then. And then, you know, he just focused on reviving, you know, the air, the water, the earth, and fire dragons, so they can bring balance, you know, back to the world and everything like that. Snow ira dissolve, etean wordalo, itina musa dignada, imilgeru tu plotrofu. Oh, I hit that note. So that's pretty much, when you'll see the lyrics, you know, it's like Snowy Vadisab, eons have passed, a trade and work dalo, the world has grown old, itinamu sadek nada, you know. It's just, I just really wanted it to sound mystical, so I just said it backwards, you know, and instead of like rapping it, because I was really kind of trying to figure out how to fit that chorus in there, or how to fit that particular part in there. So I was like, what can I do? I didn't want to rap, and I didn't want to like growl nothing, but I was like, you know, it's kind of stripped down. There's not too much going on with that part, so I was like, I want to kind of sound more like chorus, kind of like Gregorian chant thing, but I don't want to say eons are past. That would have been boring. So I was like, if I say it backwards and sing it, it's going to sound mystical, and it's really going to grab your attention, you know, because the flow just changes from the verse to that part. So that's pretty much, it's nothing like backmasking and no foreign language or nothing. It's just me saying stuff backwards to sound cool and mystical. All the things I was seeing as I slept, I thought it was just nightmares. My worries and doubts plaguing my mind. But as I pass above a civilization so forward and bleak, I realized these terrible dreams were all too real. So that part again was like, so while Barthandelus was sleeping all those years and everything, he saw, like, you know, he still saw visions in his mind of like the dragon race declining and like getting killed and being betrayed by the people that once loved him and all that kind of stuff. So he thought it was just, you know, nightmares based on his like worst fears and everything like that. But now soaring across, you know, the earth and seeing what's actually going on, he realizes it was actually happening, and now he's just getting more and more like sad. As the lightning breaks the sky and blinds my eyes, all the visions I saw when my slumber flood my mind, the beginning of the end, the dragon's demise, as I hear the spirits of my brethren cry. So, you know, that part is just, he's kind of starting to like elaborate on, you know, everything that started happening. He's gonna, you know, just all the visions that came through and all the nightmares he had all those years just gonna come up in his mind. And, you know, pretty much a lightning strike, kind of getting like a sort of PTSD kind of flashback moment. So, yeah, he just kind of starts remembering everything that happened. Once adored and revered, the love and the joy turn to hatred and fear. The sinister enchantments from the council of the court, they turn to hunting us for fun and for sport. So that part's pretty much just kind of going into how not just the dragons, but how all magical creatures will eventually start to be getting hunted by, you know, the people of the time. You know, the council of the court, you know, there were like evil wizards and witches there that manipulated things and pretty much turned the whole civilization on dragons and all magical creatures in general. Exterminate the dragon, the nymphs of the pond, assassinate the race of the Thua de Danan, seal up the pathways that lead to other realm, corrupting pure magic with unholy spells. So pretty much just telling how everything went down. You know, they corrupted the court, and then the court pretty much, you know, just went along with whatever they were doing. So they, you know, like killed the Thua de Danan, they destroyed all the dragons, they sealed up the pathways that led to, you know, other realms of other magical creatures and other well springs of magic. Pretty much just trying to wipe out magic from the planet, all in all and all together. Blackening their souls, manipulating vision, vesting all the kingdoms with their heinous decisions, chasing this mission, nothing to defend, forcing us to flee, hunted to the end. And that's pretty much, you know, just mass extinction, termination, just any magical creature, dragon, nymph, fairy, pretty much anything short of actual gods were just hunted down and just murdered. No prisoners, no slaves, no nothing. They just found them, and as soon as they found them, killed them. Snowy vadis av eterien vögdalo itinamusan ordilo imirgerutuplotro. That part's pretty much the same as the first chorus, except of him saying Itina Musa de Nada, which is humanity has advanced. That third line changes to Itina Musa Dilok, which means humanity has grown cold. So it's kind of like as he learns more and all the visions come back, you know, he sees the technological advancement that's going on there, but he also sees like the cost that it came at, which is like all his brothers and sisters and all these magical creatures pretty much went extinct through the heartlessness of humanity, which is why he changes that other line to humanity has grown cold. Just pretty much encapsulating, it's kind of like him from the beginning when he went to sleep to everything he's seeing now and observing. He's like, well, they've really gotten cold and heartless and still under the spell of evil and hatred for us, despite everything we've done for them. And yeah, that's that part right there. As I gaze down, I see them ready their arrows. I do not fear, for it would serve me no purpose. I prepare for my final battle and my meeting with the Great Spirit. So pretty much what's going on, and this leads into the last song of the EP. He's flying over a very well-populated city, whatever, you can just put whatever city in your mind, and they're aware of him now, and they're like, oh, it's a dragon, they're real, blah, 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 so they're actually readying, you know, tanks and, you know, guns and missiles and stuff to fire at him, and of course he doesn't know what any of that stuff is called, so he just calls it arrows. But he's, you know, he's not really worried about it. There's no point in being scared. You know, he's already seen what happened to all of his other fellow dragons, so he's not really, you know, there's no point in being scared because he knew what was going to happen. And he's just preparing to fight and die and meet the Great Spirit. So yeah, I ended up doing a dragon just because, you know, awesome creatures that at one point did exist. They're probably not around anymore, but they did exist at one point. I firmly believe that. Chose purple and gold because it's very royal, very powerful and regal, but also kind of subtle and soft, not as stark as like black and gold or black and white, anything like that. And a guy named Barthandelus from Final Fantasy 13, that one boss that turns into like that multi-face boss that disguises the Pope. So, yeah, inspiration from everywhere.